asked to give some opening remarks, and we shuffled around the introductions, so I apologize about that. But you know, it couldn't be a more appropriate time to follow the courageous leadership of Mayor Cory Booker. So he left the room, but I'd like to give him another hand for what he's done. On that note, you know, today's New York Times, the front cover has a sort of depressing article. $13 an hour, 500 folks sign up to win a job. And it reads, as soon as the job opening was posted one afternoon, and it describes people getting online to get a job at, for a nationwide trucking company, needed an administrative assistant for its business driver training school here. Responsibilities included data entry, assembling paperwork, and making copies. And 500 folks got online to apply for this $13 an hour job. Well, so let me tell you what's wrong with that and a good solution. Data entry is yesterday's economy. I own ships in New York that go on biodiesel fuel. Folks who start in my restroom attendants and deckhands have become captains. $13 an hour is not what they're striving for. They're making $80,000 a year as a maritime captain. Okay? So in a green economy, there is a tremendous amount to think about with the kind of leadership on the local level to foster that. Municipal trucks can go on biodiesel fuel. Data entry, $13 an hour, 500 folks looking for that job. Those days are over. Our waste stream here has job opportunities in it. And so we're here to have a dialogue about job creation and innovation. So before you get depressed about today's New York Times, let me read you an article in a few years back. Same paper, New York Times. And it's about, it takes place in New Jersey. I'll just read one sentence from the article. So, I won't say the name. There was no lack of enthusiasm or confidence about, and it names an individual, as he greeted the Times reporter who entered his laboratory at Menlo Park, New Jersey yesterday. Yesterday, by the way, is October 21, which is yesterday, a few years back though. The inventor, a short, thick-set man with grimy hands, led the way through his workshop and willingly explained the distinctive features of what he and many others looked upon as an apparatus which will soon cause gaslight to be a thing of the past. The lamp which Mr. Edison regards, and it goes on. Yesterday, folks, in 1879, Thomas Edison discovered the light bulb here in New Jersey. And that was innovation, and that created an empire. That created jobs. That created energy. Many years later, at the Paris World's Fair, a guy by the name of Diesel introduced the diesel engine. At the Paris World's Fair, you know what ran the diesel engine? Peanut oil. Okay? So there is real opportunity and real innovation. And with the kind of leadership that we have here in New Jersey, local leaders focused on fostering innovation and opportunity, we can bring back and foster Thomas Edison all over again in an emerging green economy. So on that note, we look forward to starting this day. I'm going to introduce some of the speakers. So the next speaker is, I have no schedule. Did Oh, Senator Ruiz here? Okay, so Senator Ruiz is on her way. And so can we wait? Or? Okay, she'll be here in a few moments. I can take some questions about today's agenda or the summits in general, if there are any questions. It's okay to have a dialogue. That's what we're looking to do. Have a dialogue with local business and opportunities in an emerging green economy. Yes?
I'm Marge Offit, and we do data entry in my company, and I really didn't get the connect of why you thought that was a passé activity.
Oh, I don't think it's a passé activity, but I will answer your question in the following context. For 20 years, for 50 years, baby boomers, persons born 1944 to 1964, have controlled whether you made it or you didn't. Whether you were Starbucks or the Beatles, you had to speak to the sense and sensibilities of baby boomers. If they didn't like your music, you weren't going to make it. If they didn't like your coffee, you weren't going to make that. If they didn't like your political agenda, you weren't going to make it, whether you were Ronald Reagan or Jimmy Carter. Now, that's interesting, but what happened after was persons born, and there were 78 million of them, by the way, persons born 44 to 64. After them came Generation X, folks born between 65 and 85, and they were told that they were lazy and all kinds of bad words just because they were much smaller. There are only 50 million of them. Well, they're followed by Generation Y, which some demographers believe is a 25-year generation. If it's only 20 years, persons born 85 to 05, those Generation Yers are 78.5 million, the same size as the baby boomers, those consumers. But if the demographers are right and it's a 25-year generation, and still being born through next year, and I had a son about 5 weeks ago, so 2010 is the cutoff date. And Generation Y, people born 85 to 2010, are guess how big? 100 million strong. 100 million strong. And they are the largest consumer population the world has ever known. And they have a set of values and a way of communicating that we barely understand. Our new president spoke to them the way they communicate, and he spoke to their values. And if you ask Generation Y, so the answer to your question is, regarding data entry, there's more innovation to do. Data entry is great, but on those very same trucks that you're data entering, there's GPS on mobile that can track the behavior of the drivers and the environmental efficiency of those trucks and how much and where they're buying their fuel. That's job innovation in a green economy. And one more point about this Generation Y. National polls, regardless of socioeconomic background, if you ask seniors in high school or seniors in college, what are your 3 most important things? It's not the war in Iraq. It's not the economy. It's not even getting a job. That's under 30%, folks. The only thing that's above 84% is the world around me, the air I breathe, and the environment. That's what Generation Y is thinking. This is the way they're communicating, and they're seeking innovation to clean up their environment. And that's what business has to think about, because they are your consumers. They're going to demand it of us, not only of our politicians, but also of our business innovators. So that's what I think we should think about, this incredible Generation Y opportunity. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce the senator. New Jersey Senator, State Senator Teresa Ruiz, the first Latina to serve in the State Senate in New Jersey, is a lifelong resident of Newark, a fearless advocate for the people and issues in which he believes. Senator Ruiz uses the skills she learned in county government and the political realm to promote the ideas of justice, inclusion, and equality. It's this kind of leadership in state government that we need to help foster business, to help foster innovation, to help create jobs in an emerging green economy. Senator Ruiz.